Kids are in bed, so I'm going to try and run through these numbers and get it to make sense. So what we're going to try and get to is this kind of big thing at the bottom, which is to say, what's the dream number of painters you want to have, how much revenue would that create, and then what is your market share with those number of painters. So the way I would start this out is count how many Sherwin stores are in the area that you're willing to serve. And that's up to every painter, how far they're willing to drive to. And then what is the average revenue per Sherwin-Williams store? You can either get this talking to a sales rep, or you could just do like a poll of Sherwin-Williams store managers and see what they say and come to an average. So it's just me making up numbers. Let's say there's 20 stores in your area that you're willing to drive through and around. Each store does an average about $1.5 million in revenue. It's probably low. This would give you, you can see the formulas up in this dialog here, but this would give you the total revenue that Sherwin-Williams does in that area. You could skip straight here if you can talk to somebody at Sherwin. They'll just tell you that. These yellow things are kind of important to decide some things. So the first is what percentage of this revenue are products that you would even use. So you look at, okay, there's $30 million of dollars coming through Sherwin every year, but you don't want to take into account sprayers or ladders, or if you don't do garage floor coatings, then you take out garage floor coatings. If you don't do crazy industrial stuff, take that out. So let's say only 70% of what Sherwin sells are products that you even touch. Then that will give you, right, so total revenue times the revenue that's applicable will give you the total revenue of products that you use. Then you want to ask Sherwin-Williams, and they know these numbers, but what is their market share for that area? So let's say they feel like they have 60% of the market, then that would get you to the total related paint sold in the area, which in this example would be $35 million. Then what you're really interested in is the amount of revenue that represents. So a good average for what I see in comparable businesses is about 15% materials of revenue. And so if there's $35 million and that's 15% of revenue, you would take the total divided by the percentage, and that gets you $233 million of revenue that these materials being sold represent. All right, so that's kind of the market cap for the area. I guess this is an important number. The next numbers, kind of a couple of numbers here. So what is a good kind of revenue per hour that you're creating? And so this would be gross, so this includes materials, and a good strong one would be like $60 an hour. Honestly, you're probably seeing a lot of $55 an hour out there gross. So labor at 45, and then maybe 7 or 8 of materials, but let's say 55 to be kind. Take the hours per year of the average painter, and you can see in the formula up here, this is very optimistic. This is 40 hours a week for 50 weeks of the year. If you are able to get 40 hours a week for 50 weeks a year, you have a very, very strong culture. It's not very realistic, but let's say that happens. That would get you on average $110,000 of revenue per painter per year. And then you'd say, okay, the whole kind of theory of this is how do we foster cooperation and not have people or how do you have people be willing to share with each other? So let's say, okay, what if you're willing to help your neighbor and they get to 50 painters? That would equate to, as you can see the formula here, about $5 million of revenue, right? That's really great for that person, but what about me? I just helped them, and now they're a $5 million company. Well, that company that you just helped is about 2% of the market now, which means that you can effectively attack 98% of the market and never even have to compete with this person. And odds are if you compete with them, there's something called consumer preference. And so if you have a different style, even if they're better or you're better, people are going to choose based off of their preferences. So hopefully this helps. I will maybe put a few more notes in here, but good luck with your speech. Good luck with your keynote, and happy to help.